Marla and Kim, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Marla, my first few questions are for you, and then Kim, I've got your back. Let me ask you, as it applies to the Jeffersons, Marla, how much of Florence is in you? Like, how much of her character is your personality?
A whole lot. Growing up in Chicago, we had a, we had a lot of Florences on the block.
Yeah, and the part that I think you would love as an actor about her was that it was not meant to be a permanent character, but the idea that you made it a permanent character with your abilities that had to make it extra special.
Well, the maids, the maids that I met in Chicago and in Detroit, that's the way they were. They took over the house. If they were in the kitchen and the boss walked in, they say, "I'm not through yet. Get out of here." And they like it was their kitchen. It was their house when they were doing it, and that's how they acted.
Yeah.
So I mean, they weren't subservient or anything like that.
So today, Marla, we could not make a show like this, I don't think, right? There's a wonderful scene of your character kissing Billy Williams. There's a scene of where George is talking Florence away from committing suicide, taking her life. Um, what was the brilliance of the show? Why did it work so well, Marla?
Well, the wonderful thing is that Billy would say to me, "I'm not a comedian," So I said, "Well, don't be a comedian now." I said, "You don't know what's wrong with me." So yes, for real, what is the problem? That's what you're trying to figure out. You're not trying to be funny. And so that's what we did, and it worked, and it was great.
Yeah, it did work great. Kim, how did you and Marla connect? Like, you guys are obviously close. I really, really enjoyed the short. It was really great. And I have thoughts on that too. But how did you guys connect, Kim?
Thank you. Well, I grew up watching her and being a giant fan. And then when I wrote this script that was inspired by my real life 94-year-old grandmother, I was looking up actresses and I was like, oh, Marla, oh my God. And I saw an article that she still loves to work. And I was so excited. So our amazing casting directors, Miriam and Candace, reached out to her agent. And yeah, the rest is history. We met not long after at Vaughn's that we shot the grocery store scene in. That was Marla's suggestion of where to meet. It's her neighborhood grocery store,
Yeah.
and and we talked for a couple of hours and really got along. And then toward the end, I was like, "Well, should we see if we can shoot the grocery store scene here?" And she's like, "Yeah, duh. That's why I invited you here."
It is really well shot. Like, many times you'll watch a short or an indie and you'll be like, that's kind of sketchy camera work. But the way this looks, it looks really good.
Oh, thank you. That's my
Yeah.
husband. My husband, DP, director. Also, we sometimes co-direct, and he was very much a part of so much of the vision for this. And he's amazingly talented with lighting, composition, all of the things. So that's him.
So I'm gonna ask you a question, and maybe you could pass it over to Marlo when you're done. Do you think the current generation has respect for the past? Because I kept thinking about that watching this short. I was like, does the current generation have respect for the past?
I think if they're taught, if their parents have it, they're going to give it to them. Otherwise, they don't pay much attention. They're on the phone and on the laptops and all of that. And as long as they're out of the way, the parents don't care. But if the parents are aware, then they make sure they know the history. They make sure they know the respect for women because they are women. I mean, if men don't have respect for women, where does it come from? Do they see it at home? So a lot of things you see at home, you internalize. But if you don't see it, you can't do it.
That's a great answer. Kim, did you want to throw in on that?
I think the respect is waning a little bit
Well,
from younger to older because I don't know, because of this lightning fast, need it now kind of culture.
all about me.
And everybody just feels, oh, I'm so much smarter. I can look this up on my map and I can do this so much
Yeah.
faster. And
Yeah.
I don't need you to give me directions. I can just give me that, you know. And there's just so much more to life and to wisdom, you know, so many. That's not wisdom. Like being able to get somewhere quickly because your smartphone told you how to get there doesn't make you smart. It doesn't
Yeah.
make you know anything about life.
Right.
And so I think we're just losing. It's just shallow to me. It's a little
Yeah, because they
shallow.
all think they're smarter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And poor Mildred is trying for the life of her to get somebody to talk to get somebody to notice her. And it's one of the things that watching this, it's like, it's just so heartbreaking because you know this is going on in real life, like not just here. Like you see this poor woman, she's trying everything to connect with family, a stranger at the grocery store. She's doing everything, and it's just kind of like, nope, we're good. I don't know. That part of it's kind of heartbreaking because one, because you did such a wonderful job, Marley, and two, because I know this actually happens.
You know the facts of life?
Yes.
Did you know that was another series?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I do love the facts of life. I will tell you that. Absolutely. Marla, you are on Instagram. How much do you share in common with Mildred? Right? Because you have a very successful Instagram. I don't think you have a TikTok. I don't know. But Instagram's not totally unlike TikTok. So
My
how much
grandson does all my Instagram.
gotcha?
Like I don't even know about TikTok until I read the script.
Me neither.
Kim, do you want to turn this into
About TikTok.
Kim, do you want to turn this into something bigger, perhaps maybe a show, a series, or is this a standalone and it's telling its own story?
I think it's both. I think it does tell its own story, but I absolutely want to do more with Marla. I would love to do a feature version. I can see the whole second act with all of the things that she tries that's currently in a montage form. Those are all sequences, like the cooking sequence, that you know, those are all story beats that could really be expanded. We haven't met her daughter Karen, who's on a cruise, and that's why she's not helping her. Like, you know, and I think there's so many more layers to it. So I think we could definitely do a feature. I think it is could be a fun, repeatable format for a show. And there are lots of places she could go even after she hits the 2 million. You know, where does she go from
Yeah.
there? So lots of ideas cooking. Totally open to do more always, but I do feel like it is a standalone.
Tell,
Hopefully.
tell, tell me that Marla was able to keep the hot pink tracksuit, the Adidas tracksuit. Please tell me that she was able to keep that.
The hot pink suit.
The Adidas suit when you have the scooter. You still have it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Adidas was like, "Oh, Marla Gibbs is gonna wear this. Yes, please. Here you go."
Yeah. I will say this about social media, like from getting this from the short, Mildred for a Million, this is kind of what I got from this was that, as bad as social media can be sometimes with bullying and harassing and other things, it also gives a voice to the voiceless, right? And I was kind of happy that Mildred, who's trying so hard to talk during this whole thing, finally has her chance via TikTok. And I see people like that in real life, and that makes me feel really happy that this kind of brought that out a little bit, right, Kim?
Absolutely. Her monologue, she at the end when she's just talking, I mean, those things do go viral because I think people are so struck when it's just this close up of somebody's face and they're just pouring their heart out. And I just want to say, Marla, like, so that was written to be about that length, but she came to the table read completely off book for that monologue and had written several extra lines that's the part I ended up keeping. And she's like, why'd you cut that other part? I was like, because your part was better. But the real heartfelt stuff about you're going to grow up to be a young lady like me. They're going, all of those things are personal, and she wrote those things. Um, so yeah, I don't know where it's going with that tangent, but yes, I think people do respond to that when we do take a beat and talk into the camera and really speak from our heart and share our vulnerability. Absolutely. And I was going to say one more thing about TikTok. So we do have an at Mildred 4 million TikTok that we are launching with this 7-day week that we're doing, and the premiere last night. So we're going to be releasing Mildred, her character Mildred's videos that she made in the film in their entirety on that TikTok. So
Oh, nice, nice. That's very clever. That's very
yeah.
clever. Yeah. How was it last night?
How was it last night? It was so good. We had a packed house, so much love for her, standing ovation. The Q&A I thought was going to be short and sweet, but we probably went an hour with people standing up and just sharing like their personal stories about how they connected with it and their parents, and just overwhelming support for her. And it was a beautiful night.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
I have 3 final questions, one for each of you, and then a general one. I will go with you, Marla. Marla, I'll go back to Jeffersons for one more thing. I forgot to ask this earlier. Marla, do you think George and Florence like each other down deep, or do you think the hate was just superficial? How do you think? Because I feel like she really respected him when he was donating a kidney. Like, I feel like they kind of liked each other down deep. What do you think?
You feel like
That George and Florence actually liked each other. I think, on screen we see them always fighting and battling. I think they actually liked each other.
they did.
You agree?
Yeah, that was true. George would come in sometimes. He said, Florence, I don't know my lines. I said, yes, you do. He said, I didn't study last night. Mine took a picture of them when you first read them. They're in there. They can't come out because you keep saying you don't know. He said, I knew that. We had those kind of conversations all the time.
Yeah, you are a legend. Kim, where can people watch this? Like, I want people to see this. It's so watchable. It's so condensed. I don't want to hear I don't like long shows this is perfect for anybody to enjoy.
Thank you so much. So we have a 7-day run right now that's going to qualify us for the Academy Live Action Short Award. So it's
Nice.
a
Nice.
7-day theater run at the Lamley Royal Theater on the west side, Santa Monica and the 405. So it'll be every day at 3:10 p.m. all week long, starting today. So it premiered last night in the Valley. Sorry, it was really far away from everybody. And then it'll be at the Royal all week. And then we hope to be in festivals in January, February, March. We're talking about the Pan-African Festival, the Sundance, submitting to Slam Dance in a couple days, South by Southwest. And then we hope that somebody picks it up and wants to promote it even more and get it out there.
How about this is the last thing I'll say. How about more projects with the legendary Marla? Can we have some more stories with Marla heading the way, please?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I mean, she's the reason we just shot this at the end of July. We have been breaking our necks to make these deadlines, and it's because when I saw her performance, I was like, this is Oscar worthy. Like, we have to get this in all the festivals. We have to get people to see this. And so we just finished like cutting the film 3 days ago. It's like,
oh my God.
But it's because of her. The whole cast and crew, like once she brought this to life, we're like, oh my God, this is so,
When you're nominated and you win, I fully expect a name recognition of my podcast. I fully expect all that. Listen, it was very nice talking to the two of you. I loved it. Marla, you're a legend. Thank you both for this time. And for those listening or watching, I cannot recommend this enough. It was just such a fun, sweet watch for really of all ages. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
Go take your bathroom break. I feel bad for holding you from all this.
No.
Bye. Bye. Take care.